Hi, it's Mrs. Stitches or Sheila. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Flossmas Day number 7. I think that's right. The Jingle Ball started last night. Is anyone else going? One of my viewers, Charlene, hi Charlene, was there last night. She was in one of the stitchy rooms. Saw lots of floss tubers too, which is great. I saw Deanne from Stitching on the Rock, and I also saw Patty from my Four Boys and NL Girl, my actual stitch countdown box. There was the Stitching Owl, and there was I'm trying to think now. The rocking horse stitcher. She used to live in Nova Scotia. Now she's in Ontario. Lisa from Forest City Stitching. Then I did the speed dating too, which was kind of interesting, and I met a floss tuber there, the Contented Stitcher, so that was awesome. Hi, Kim. So yeah, it's been a really interesting experience. There is so much going on. I haven't even gone to the meet and greets yet, or Chantel, who gifted this me, said she saw a free wreath making last night, so that's really cool. So let's first show you yesterday's stitching that I got done. So starting off with the 4-boy, Patty breaks 4-boy and NL Girls stitch along or countdown box. I did, you can't really tell, but essentially there's a light green on the holly leaves. So there were 10 of them, so they filled in here and there and then down here. So it's coming along very nicely. So I accidentally snuck a peek at her today's video, so I've got spoiled about what I'm seeing today. So that's the first time I've been spoiled. So you'll see me acting, because I'm going to still act surprised, but I know what we're getting, and I kind of have an idea. I don't know where the stitching is yet. I know a little bit. She didn't totally spoil that, but that was my own fault. So I should have known better. I just don't know why I did it. And then on my frosty or fudgy calendar, I was working on this while I was in the stitchy rooms. And so I was working on day number 7 over here. So I'll just bring it a little closer so you can see. It's another one that's going to go over into another box. And it's like, what's he doing? What's he doing? And the funny thing about this is, you may have noticed, so she mentioned to do the snowflake. So there is a snowflake there and there to do it in the matching color of your fabric. Then somehow I went askewed and I started doing them in black because I got confused and didn't read the chart right. And I thought, well, why don't we try this blue here? So I'm just experimenting. It's all over the place. So the other people I know some others are doing this and watching, and one girl I know, she mentioned how hard this stitch was. And it is pretty tricky, but just do whatever, I think the thing that Chantel really encourages is to almost find your inner artist, because she's kind of thinking outside the box and we are stitching outside the box. And just do what feels right. So my snowflakes are a little wonky, but that's okay. It is okay. So there you go. Advent wise today, from my hubby, I found on my chair, this is adorable. Isn't he cute? Oh my, he is so adorable. He's a little ornament. So I'm gonna take off the tag and stick him on the tree, because that's what I do. Let's see if I can get him out of here. Here we go. Here we go. I'm going to have to think of a name. He could be Fudgy too. I'm very creative. But he's white, like the little snowman. Isn't he cute? Where shall I put him? He deserves a place of honor. You can kind of sit there. Yeah, that's good. I might block you occasionally, but you're very cute there. There you are. Okay, and now we have the paint with stitches advent calendar boxy thing. Oh, one other thing I stitched on. So yesterday, is it here? You know, I thought I brought it. Just hold a second. I gotta go get that. Okay, so yesterday's fabric and little pattern, Chantel asked me back. So it's awesome when the designers are watching your Flossmas because she answers my question. So she said, no, it's just the seagull. So the seagull is supposed to, and all we were supposed to do is pick, yeah, I think that's right. Pick somewhere in the upper third because the whole thing is kind of like a beach area and then that's the sky. So I picked this corner to start on. It's got lots of half stitches. And this is Ada, so it's a bit of a challenging. I'm going to have to get a pen out and mark where I am on the pattern because it's a little bit tricky and I'm not going to give away these patterns. So anyway, so that's coming. I already have tons to stitch. So I'm going to try and do that a little bit. But just keeping up on the fudgy advent calendar and the 4 boys and NL girl countdown box. I've already gotten behind on my daily stitching, and now with the jingle ball, it's a lot. It's a lot. Okay, let's get back to my advent box. So I'm looking for number 7. That's 11. That's 15. 16. Let's look over here. I think it's going to be over here. 7. I found 7. That's good. Oh, it's interesting. Oh, it feels like a pen. I'm going to guess, but I'm not sure. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Pretty wrapping paper. Oh, it's got like dragonflies on it. That might be her artwork again. Can you see those dragonflies? That's very pretty. She has a dragonfly, again, some of her artwork, and she turned it into a cross-stitching pattern that's on her website. I haven't stitched that one yet. That's beautiful. Okay, this is really wow. Oh, I was right-ish. You know, this is perfect. Got a highlighter. That's going to be working really well for the seagull. That's awesome. And a beautiful... Oh, it's a pencil. I could use that too. So this is a Staedtler. Oh, it's an eraser. Oh, well, isn't that handy? That's by Staedtler. That's good quality there. Pencil and a highlighter. Yay! Wow, that is perfect timing, Chantel. Thank you. Because I'm going to need that for definitely for the seagull. So I'll put that in my bag here. Awesome. I will mark out right after. I'm going to mark off what I've done. Okay. Number 7 on Patty's. Now remember, I've actually already seen this, so it's not a surprise. But let's see how good my acting skills are. Oh, look, it's white. It is B5200, and actually I need B5200, so I'm very pleased about that. And Patty showed, and it's true, she mentioned how she picked this fabric color because she wants the white to pop, and it will pop. So, what are we doing today? Oh, okay. Well, I'm wrong on one of my guesses, but yeah, there's some stitching. It's kind of all over the place, and you will see tomorrow for sure. So, that is good. That's probably going to be a bit of stitching, but maybe I'll be in stitchy rooms working on it. Okay, now, my question of the day. It's getting down. You know, it's funny, this whole Flossmas thing. The time is kind of flying by. And I noticed this last time I did this, which was 2 years ago. I think 2 or 3 years ago. That it's nice, but your December is actually consumed with this. And it's almost like you're not getting in the Christmas spirit because you're just so focused on doing your Flossmas. So, but it's time. It's the December 7th already. Wow. Okay. Question of the day. Have you ever failed at something, and what did you do after that? Well, um, probably I got a couple of really big fails in my life that have stuck with me. So the one that comes that I really consider a fail was, I used to do long distance running and I used to do long distance walking. I did a lot of long distance walking. And my ultra marathons I considered, even though it's like a running event, I was mostly walking. So there was one in Alberta, in southern Alberta, Lethbridge, called Lost Souls. And the first year I went, I did 100K, and I had just wrecked my knee about half a year before, so I was going in totally walking, and it took I want to say 28 hours. And at the event, there'd be 50K, 100K, and 100 milers. And I would see the 100 milers and I go, oh, I'd love to be that one day. I did the 100K for 3 years and completed, got a bit better. And then my fourth year, I tried to do the 100 mile and I got up to 132K and then I quit. And I felt that I could have done better. I felt like I should have pushed myself further. When you get to a certain distance, you're obviously going to have some blisters. Your muscles are going to ache, your feet are going to ache, your knees are going to ache, you're going to be tired, and it's really easy to quit. So I then tried another year, and a friend was going to be my pacer, and that was probably the year I probably could have pushed and finished. But I quit again, exact same spot, 132K. Then the following year, after I'd met my husband at a marathon, we were still dating, he was my pacer. And once again, quit the exact same time, exact same place. So that was a bit of a failure, that I never was able to complete the 100-miler. I attempted it 3 times, got to the same distance. And the reason I quit same distance is because it was right at a aid station right before a 16K loop. And the last time I would have timed out. They pretty much said, you really can't go out there because you're not going to be able to get back in time. Like, it was about half an hour before the timeout. And I knew that. And at that time I was going so slow. I think 10K took me about, I'm not even sure how long, like a long time. But I still, even though I failed, and I guess at that time, the first failure, I kept trying and kept trying. And there's something in actually trying, and I still have memories of all those events and getting as far as I did. And so there is something still to be taken away from it. And not everybody, you'll never know if you can do something if you don't try. Yes, I couldn't get to that distance, but I've tried. And I still hold on to 132K as the biggest distance I've ever done to date. And so there's that. And it's just good. This is another thing I failed at, which is kind of funny. So Canadian Death Race, which is in Alberta or BC, Grand Prairie. Let me see. Alberta. It's right on the border, so that's why I wasn't sure. And that one I only got so far and timed out. So a lot of these ultra marathons, there's another one is Squamish 50-50. I got to a certain distance and timed out. So they'll have cutoffs, and if you're not fast enough, then you can't go any further. That's it. So you can get so far, and if you're really pushing the time limits, then you're going to be done. And so they're not really conducive to slower runners or walkers or fast walkers, but it's what it is. The other quitting that I did was early on with my husband. When we were still dating, we went on a hike, and this hike was in part of the Rocky Mountains near Banff National Park, and it was a loop. And we did one part of it, and one part was really sketchy that my husband was nervous about, and we had our dog with us, and the dog was nervous about. Then we got to about halfway, and we were going downhill, and I froze. I absolutely froze. It just was, maybe it was sort of shaly a bit, and I guess I felt slippery on the downhill, and I just mentally could not get down this hill. And we ended up, instead of doing the loop, turning around, going backwards, which was really hard on both of them because they went through their fear spots and I did not go through my fear spots. So I felt like that was a failure in a sense. Who knows? Maybe there was something that maybe my inner voice was there was something bad up ahead. I don't know. But I felt like I should have pushed. I didn't think about the others at the time. I think that was the failure that stuck with me the most, is that they went through what was scary to them and I wasn't able to go through what was scary to me. So those were probably two failures that I can think of. Yeah, and I guess when I fail on something, I just try to look at what can I learn from that? What can I take away from that? And yeah, that's probably what is probably the best thing. They still sometimes hurt though and stick in your brain. And maybe it's just the disappointment. The biggest failure is probably when I'm disappointed in myself, when I think I can do something and I set myself up to do something and I don't. There was one marathon where when I was a faster runner, I set myself up to try to do a 3:30 marathon, and my best time had been 3:45, and that's a big jump to try to expect on myself. And I was like, took all these sports mental clinic, and I was just so gung-ho and thought, oh, I'm gonna do it, and did all this positive mantras into mirrors and things, and just tried to visualize and believe. And I knew I was off my pace. I started getting upset. My stomach started getting upset while I'm running. And at the end, I threw up, and I still did, a decent time, 3:40. It was a great time, but I was so disappointed in myself. I had set myself up so much to believe that I was going to be able to do that. And then I didn't. I still finished a bloody marathon. It's like, who cares? Who cares? And so that one, again, it's just, I'm a little bit more cautious now not to set myself up. There is positive thinking, but there's also not positive thinking that turns into pressure on yourself. That's not good. So, I kind of a little, when I see some people with all this, oh, believe you can do it. You can do it. You got it in you. I'm like, not necessarily. And you don't have to have that pressure. Just do the best you can. Do what you can. Trying is good, and failure is all part of trying. I believe so. So there you go. That's a little bit about me and a little bit more than maybe you wanted to know, but there you go. So I might see some people in the Canadian stitching room. Probably be going there this afternoon and maybe for an hour this evening, and work on my stitching that I got to do there. And have a great day 7, everybody. Happy Flossmas, and I shall see you tomorrow. Bye.